early stuff?
No, I want you to take us to church. All right, take us to church.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. Brothers and sisters,
Praise be.
praise be.
Praise be.
Praise up. Praise up, dude.
That was pretty good.
That sounded
That
great.
sounded great.
That sounded really good. I think we got to take that back from the churches and the worship.
Man. Yeah, I haven't done too much Shimmer Verb.
No.
I think I need to.
Don't lick him. Lick his mouth. Dude, you've turned into St. Francis. Once you start using Shimmer Verb.
Oh, you've got that stereo.
Oh yeah, it's stereo.
Too.
Wait a second. Now that's son Shimmer Verb.
Is that like a chorus you got on there?
Yeah, it's a chorus because I didn't play enough suspended chords. I'm sorry. I gotta go.
Oh, that's straight up. Where the streets have no name right there. That was cool.
It goes on forever.
That was awesome.
Wait a second. I'm glad you brought up Irish people. Because I got this shirt, which has Saint Patrick on it.
That's
From Some Neck Guitars in Dublin.
that is
So,
awesome.
Just put Saint.
I love that.
We'll put St. Patrick right there with his.
So great.
But I thought it sounded so good that I put it on. I took my show patches for Shadowbox, and I just put Shimmer Verb on them.
That's awesome.
So like I have rhythm. It just goes.
Man, that sounds great. The way it kind of like jumps through different pitches and like harmonies, that's cool.
It's
It
kind of
almost
weird.
has like the rhythmic effect on it.
Oh, it does. It's kind of. I think it's a delay.
That's cool.
And I just because I was trolling, I had the like intensity of all of this all the way up.
That's cool. Huh.
Now some vibe.
That's the sound right there.
Is it?
That's like Black Sabbath meets Hendrix meets worship.
Meets worship.
Yeah, dude.
Those Hendrix chords are too intense for the delays and the harmonies to like understand, so it sounded like distortion.
So I'm just using the Shimmer on the reverb. But this, I think,
The FM3 only has it in like the Plex delay. But it is like kind of addictive. It's not really that useful unless you're playing clean stuff for Jesus. That is just a wobbly delay.
What is happening? It was giving me like hieroglyphics there.
Was it?
Yeah.
Is that the one you spilled water on?
Well, it rained.
It rained. Okay, sorry. Yeah. No. That's a fair distinction. Spilling water on something is embarrassing. Just having it raining at all is... Because I remember that blinking blue light was so bright.
Super bright. Now, now
it's been tamed by the aguas. Let me take you there. Is that an octave delay?
Yeah, so you can have the pitch. You can change the pitch of the delay.
Dude, that's an afternoon on shrooms. Do good.
So you can set it so it's like really fast, and then it almost like it trails everything.
I don't think Jesus would love that, though. Would he?
I don't know. Let's try it with some reverb.
Oh, please.
I feel like I'm in Foles now.
You feel like you're what?
I'm in Foles. Band Foles.
Oh, Foles, yeah. That is cacophonous.
Fat reverb kind of makes it a little obnoxious.
All right, that's sick.
That's
Is the blue sky the ultimate Shimmer verb? Or what's the bigger version of that? The big sky. I feel like the big sky is what you get. Tritone.
we can harmonize.
That's a Primus album.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either. I don't hate that at all. I like it more than I should.
Oh, you can do a sub-octave?
I'll do a sub-octave.
All right.
It sounds a little bit like you have a bad bass player. Or like a bass player that's a little too far away. But that's cool.
So the Specular Tempest can do reverb and delay, and then the Blue Sky is just reverb.
I used the Blue Sky when I was using your board.
Yeah.
For that Bowie song. And it was like, he was huge. It was sick. Is that pedal...
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. for it to stop. It goes on for like 5 seconds.
That was cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think I like the sound of that shimmer a bit better than the blue sky. Granted, I did just pull it up, so it's not really dialed in. But I think I like.
It's new, so it's better.
Yeah,
That's
but I
the
don't.
thing about guitar pedals.
What I don't love about the shimmer on the blue sky. And maybe I just need to mess with it more because I haven't actually messed with it much. But it's very, it's almost brittle sounding. Whereas this sounds like it's almost like a subtle shimmer.
Oh, this is not. I'm not going subtle at all.
That's not. That's loud. But I like how long it takes to almost ramp up into it. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I've never used it. I probably will never use this. I can't imagine bringing this to Shadowbox and being like,
nope.
Guys, we're doing Owner of a Lonely Heart. Right? It's not the most useful, but.
You could work it in today.
Oh.
In Lazarus?
In Lazarus. So when I'm doing the. I think I have a lead sound with.
I just didn't roll off the highs on that.
Is it that simple?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still learning how to read, so.
Overrated. Dude, you could, if I get to solo during Lazarus, you know how there's that saxophone solo?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Because the few times I've done it, I've just done the D that's on the record. He just kind of goes
Oh, dude, when I did it, because there was the one day whenever I filled in for you, and the sax player wasn't there. And so I started off on that D, and then just ripped a bunch of A minor stuff.
Yes,
it sounded awesome. It was
that's
super cool. I washed out reverb. I took him to church.
I only played that solo once or twice in the run. Yeah. And one time I just kind of was not paying attention to the vocals. And I just started shredding over the singer.
That's awesome.
And I kind of went after. I was like, my bad. And I don't think anybody noticed. Because I was like...
I turned the shimmer off, dude. That's why I was like, why am I not hearing the shimmer?
I've never owned a Strymon.
I love them.
Yeah, they're sick.
This one, the Deco, is the one that this has been on my board for years. So they have you can set them so that they're true bypass or buffered.
Mm-hmm.
And the output buffer is actually a strong output buffer. So
I don't think I would know the difference. Full transparency, I'm not
it's
brilliant.
Something that I've just been learning about. Ideally, you want an input buffer and an output buffer. So you want something at the beginning of your chain after any wahs or fuzzes. Mm-hmm. And then it will drive a full signal through your board. And then you want an output buffer that will drive a full signal back to your amp.
That makes sense because there's probably...
So
that sounds sick. There's probably, I don't know, 10 feet of cable on that before it gets to the output.
So I don't have one at the beginning of the chain. And a lot of times if you look up the, depending on the company, if you look in the manual, it'll say what the impedance is of the input and output. And, dude, this is all nerdy stuff that I've just started learning about. So I don't have one at the beginning, but with the Blue Sky being the last one, and then I just have it always on because it's reverb. then at least there's like an output buffer. But this deco, so it's like tape saturation, and it models having 2 tape decks. So the left side, you can use it as like an always on, almost like glue compression, like for like tape compression. You can use it for a boost, like what we were doing.
Yeah, I liked it for the boost.
And then like the overdrive on it sounds really good too. I don't even playing through a Supro amp, I guess.
A fake Supro.
A fake Supro. I'm trying to find like a good.
That sounded so
clean,
dry without all that Shimmer Verb. Full disclosure. Have you ever used one of those before?
I used to have a Helix.
Oh, there you go.
So, there we go.
Why'd you get rid of the Helix?
I had the Helix LT.
Okay. So it's just effects, right?
No, so it was a like a full on Helix, but it didn't have it was all like just the one screen, so it didn't have the scribble strips. Yeah, I can't remember exactly like what the differences were between that and the full on Helix. But I just didn't really like it. But I've been looking at an HX Stomp because I think that'd be kind of cool.
They are kind of cool.
But yeah, so like the overdrive. Like the saturation on it. Like it sounds great.
Sounds good. That sounds really good. That's a usable tone.
This was one. So I did use this pedal with the Helix, where I would run it at the end of the chain with my Helix, and then I would just have like subtle saturation on all the time, and it got rid of that like the really almost brittle high end that comes with modelers.
With digital stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of gave it a little bit more of like an analog vibe. And then
although it is digital, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're using digital to emulate analog.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's above my pay grade.
I will not be taking questions at this time.
But yeah, the modulation I think sounds really cool. So there's like a blend knob where you can change the timing between the 2 tape decks. Or you can. The first tape deck is like the main one. That's your reference deck. And then you can change the blend between what you hear the most of. So like the first one or the second one, which when you're running a mono chain doesn't really... It's almost like a mix knob of how much you hear the modulation.
It's like a dry wet.
But what's really cool about this pedal, so if you run a stereo setup, so like you run into 2 different amps, then it has stereo widening, and
so you can
you can make it sound like the 2 amps are like just spread apart a bit more. And you can also basically set like a lag times to the second amp so that there's like a few millisecond delay between the first amp to the second amp, and it just makes it sound huge. It's super cool.
I've gone stereo in-house like twice in my life, and it's addictive.
Dude, I don't know where this little delay
the delay's coming from
cool.
Yeah. It's got like a little slapback on it, I guess.
Yeah, I have gone stereo a couple times, and it's as soon as you hit like a stereo delay or something, it's the coolest thing.
I did it at Bobo at Cafe Bourbon Street once. Have you ever been there?
No, but I've been to Summit Music Hall, which is right next to it.
Yeah,
right?
Bobo's like really narrow.
Okay.
But I was on stage. It was me and Mario on stage, and I was like panning hard left and right, and I went like, it went and we were like, dude. But that hall is so narrow, I think it was lost on everybody.
Yeah.
just like me on stage with stereo. It had stereo monitors, so I could hear it going gugum 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 gugum, and
That's cool.
And I was like, that is so cool.
That's so because I have 1 amp right now, and I'm like, do I get another amp and then run a stereo rig? Because I feel like
Then
so
you
there's
have
a
to
few,
take 2 amps. Right.
right,
You have to bring
right.
2
Then you have
amps.
to bring 2 amps. You got to bring 2 cabs if you have like heads, or you can get something like this, and then just make the chain.
Yeah, this chain is stereo.
Yeah, like you can just run a stereo.
I'm not in between
Yeah.
the speakers, but you kind of are. Can you feel the stereo?
Oh yeah, it sounds full. And you could even set it, I'm assuming, because I know you can with the quad Cortex, so I'm assuming you can with this. You could have 2 amps.
This only does 1 amp, but you can do
Okay.
2 cabs. I don't think you can do stereo amps in the FM3.
Okay. Yeah, because I know with the quad,
You might be able to with that, actually.
I used to with the
I
Helix.
think you can with the Ajax Stomp now. I haven't updated the technology in that since I got this 2 years ago.
But yeah, then the other thing that I've thought about doing is if you get something like an HX Stomp, or even like the Tone X or something, and then you run a dry amp and then your wet effects, stereo wet effects to the front of house from an amp sim, and then you have like a wet dry wet rig with only 1 amp. Which would be
dries behind you and wets in the house.
Yep. Which would be huge sounding, but then you have to get a sound guy to give you 3 lines.
Yeah,
And
I used to kind of do that with that.
Really?
I would run dries to a cabinet through headphone out.
Yeah.
And then that to front of house.
Interesting.
I don't. But I always did it at crappy punk venues, which I don't know if they were ever stereo.
Yeah, that's the thing that I've ran into where it's this is all awesome if you're playing venues that have a stereo setup and sound guys who are yeah, we'll give you 3 lines.
Yeah.
Because
In
I
the
don't
event that
know,
that'll ever
I
happen.
don't know if I've ever been to a place where there's a quick load in, there's multiple bands playing and they're they just want to do a quick line check and get the show going.
Do you blame them?
No,
No,
not at
yeah,
all.
no.
No, I did a gig a few weeks ago where it was a duo thing, and I had a stereo, I could do a stereo DI out, and even that he was let's just do mono.
It's one more.
Yeah,
cable.
I'm dude, it's
One more cable.
me and one other person, and it's only us playing, and he's let's just do mono. Okay.
So the most cables you could have if you have vocals and both of you are stereo is 6 cables.
Yeah,
And he was like, "No,
we'll just do mono. All right.
I think right now we have 5 cables. We have 2 mics, stereo, and that's mono."
Yeah, that's not too bad.
No, we're smart. We're geniuses.
We're American.
We're American.
That sounds good. This is the high watt model. Also, can we talk about how the fact that all worship guitar sounds like the Joshua Tree album from U2?
I've never actually really listened to
It's
Christian
literally
music.
so U2 that album, dotted eighth delay, octave reverb, Shimmer Verb, and that was the first album. Because before that, nobody was doing stuff like that on guitar until The Edge, with early U2 stuff.
The Edge had a memory man that he would turn the delay all the way up, and it would give him a dotted eighth. That's why all of their songs are one tempo.
Yeah,
Because it was just I'll just turn this on, it does a delay, and that's it.
yeah, it sounds awesome. But all modern worship guitar music is
that
literally that. Yeah.
I
I don't understand it.
I was at a studio once in New York, and we were on the first floor of the building, and the second floor above it was all of the stuff that was being used to do the Spider-Man musical that they made.
Oh, yeah.
So there was like an armed guard at the door of the studio protecting all of the Edge's gear. It was like, so he was like there to just like make sure nobody stole 50 delay pedals and like innumerable guitars. Like, and now he probably goes direct because the Sphere in Las Vegas doesn't let you use amps.
Dude, so that's true. I did see where I don't know if he went. This is like doing an Axe Effects rig or the neural or whatever.
He's doing something.
I saw a video though of because Dead and Company has been at the Sphere, and backstage is like just a pile of speakers in John Mayer's amps, enclosed with the tour cases, and everything's mic'd up. So he's still running through real amps. It's just backstage.
Because I saw that he had his like dumbbells on stage, but they weren't plugged in or turned on.
Yeah.
So they must be plugged in and turned on.
Yeah.
With like sounds. I want to go to the Sphere.
I do too, dude. That'd be cool.
I want to watch something that doesn't need to be at the Sphere. Like the NHL had their draft at the Sphere. Like I would like to go to the NHL draft and have like it'd be like, oh, like Patrick Kane, and it's just like huge. And you're like, that's cool. Oh, tight, dude. He's going to the Sharks.
That's hilarious.
I'm going to upload this patch so that people can download for the FM3 the perfect Shimmer Verb patch that I've made.
Dude, I really like that thing. Oh, yeah.
It does not matter what you put into the Shimmer Verb. It just does the same effect. Yeah. Even if it's the chunkiest, overdriven Soldano sound. It just makes it into actual angels. It's so dumb.
That's awesome, though.
I love it. Let's cut here. Cool. And I don't have anything else to talk about.
I don't either, dude.
But